So welcome back to Third Rate Content. Today we are in the northwesterly Shropshire market town of Oswestry. And as you can see over my shoulder, there is a well, and it is Oswald's well. We're going to find out all about it in a moment. So anyway, buckle up and I'll see you out here. So the Battle of Maserfield is thought to have been fought on the 5th of August, either 1642 or 1643. And it is really an arch battle between the Christians and the pagans, although it wasn't quite as black and white as that, as we'll find out. But it really is one of those sort of slightly after the Arthurian time, but only by 100 or 200 years. But one of those sort of battles of magic and Christian magic, everything, and brutal violence going on. So it's really is one of those, and we're going to see the remnants of it. So let's find out about the Battle of Maserfield. So lining up on that August day in 642 was King Penda of Mercia, allied with the Welsh from Gwynedd, sort of North Wales, based out of Digonway Castle near today what is Llandudno, and the Northumbrians, including Oswald, who was the key man in this battle, and it would go on after the battle to become a saint. But that isn't before some pretty awful bloody goings on. The location of the battle was known as Cogwy in Welsh, and the Welshmen fighting were thought to be from Pengwern, which, as we know, Cymdilyn was part of, and is thought to have taken part in this battle. And I imagine it was the bloody events that happened straight after the battle, which Cymdilyn was involved in, that led to the bloody reprisals on him and his family by Oswald 10 years later. You know what they say, revenge is a dish best served cold. And the Northumbrians' icy vengeance hit Cymdilyn and his followers like the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. And it was 10 years until Oswald's brother Oswy could reclaim Oswald's remains. And it's my own personal speculation, but I do wonder, could it be at this time that Oswy was taking the remains of Oswald back north, that the Miraculous well, St. Oswald's well, sprung up at Winwick? And there is a very interesting piece by Richard Ward proposing the Battle of Maserfield to have been in this area in the northwest. And of course, we've covered the supposed burial mound or tumuli of Cymdilyn on Third Rate Content. I'll leave a link to it in the description box. Yeah, ever since the death of Oswald's uncle Edwin of Northumbria at Hatefield Chase, which was a battle in 633, the Mercians under Penda had presented an obstacle to the power of the Northumbrians over the lands of the British south. And these were the lands south of the Humber. Yeah, Oswald's uncle Edwin had actually converted. He was the first Northumbrian to convert to Christianity a generation before Oswald. And he had fallen at the Battle of Hatfield in 633, 10 years before the Battle of Maserfield. But he is thought by Bede to have been an exemplary Christian. But it wasn't, like I say, wasn't quite as simple as that, because the Northumbrians, some of them did convert back to paganism after this time. So it was like a political decision. And Edwin was married to a Merovingian from France who were early adopters of Christianity on the continent. It is thought that King Penda of Mercia did acknowledge Oswald's power over the lands sort of south of the Humber after the Battle of Hatfield. But he must have still perceived Oswald as a threat. And the fact that the battle took place down here near Wales and sort of well south of the Humber, well, it does suggest strongly that Oswald was on the offensive down here, and the Mercians and the Welshmen from Gwynedd were actually repelling him on his southerly expeditions. Maserfield was a Western meeting, yet another Western meeting between Mercia and Northumbria. The site is most often identified, the site of the battle, as Oswestry today. There wasn't much to it back in the 640s. Just a few buildings, which most of the towns were like in those days. It wasn't a huge population. But the battle could have taken part anywhere between Oswestry and perhaps Warrington, that far north. Yeah, Bede, the medieval historian, who so much of the info we've got from this period comes from, although he did write with a political agenda, does say it was a straight up fight between pagan and Christian. But this can't be 100% true, because at least one of the Mercian / Welsh knights was a Christian. The knight was known as Sinderwyn. It does sound a bit like Cumdillan, or it looks like it when you read it. I don't think it's the same guy. And this is a charm that would have been used in the Anglo-Saxon times to protect the user from wounds in the battle. Gif mon fundia with his feiet to his feetana. Steth seelwan bride Yosefa omwina. Eita donna a, otha Williwata Orta. And you can perhaps see why the combatants entering battle would have felt they would have needed as much charm and luck as they could have got with the weapons that would have been arrayed against them. Sharp weapons, blunt weapons, bows, arrows, and bloody death could await these, what were usually small skirmishes of a few hundred or several hundred aside. And the legendary Battle of Maserfield would have probably been this kind of size encounter. The results of the battle were catastrophic for the Northumbrians. Their kingdom was dismembered, much like their leader Oswald was right here, or somewhere around here. And the reason we are said to have this well here now, which was restored in 1985 and before that in the medieval times, but the reason we have the well here was because Penda dismembered Oswald and stuck his arms and legs on poles to show everybody that he was defeated and he was nothing anymore. But an eagle was said to have flown in and taken one of Oswald's arms, flown up again with it, but where he dropped the dismembered arms was right here, and this is where the well miraculously sprung up, bubbling away, and it kind of showed the other Christians that there was life after death and that miraculous things could happen from dead, butchered Christians. Of course, I'm well aware, excuse the pun, of this legend being possibly a later propaganda sort of piece for the Christians. But I'm just telling you the legend. But nevertheless, Oswald was regarded as a saint soon after his death. People actually took soil from the spot where Oswald was killed, and before long there was a hole the size of a man into the ground. And I'm sure the Christian hierarchy were pleased with Oswald's service after death. It was far more lengthy than the life aspect of it. There are aspects, some believe, of Oswald's legend that have a pagan overtone, with the Saxon Germanic king being killed and his legend fused with Christianity. I don't know what you think about that. Feel free to tell us in the comments. But anyway, thanks for joining me today on our quite a short third-rate content. But this is a place I have wanted to visit for ages. But we're back in Oswestry now, and we're seeing it, this kind of little miraculous well. But anyway, if you did enjoy today, why don't you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have already, thank you very much, and leave a comment if you want to chat. I do love a chat, and I love a good comment, and I read them all. So if I don't see you soon, I'll see you 3 times as soon. Third-rate content signing out. Bye bye.